This is a condensed reading of a blog by Dr. Timothy R. Jennings, MD, from September 4, 2019. The Design Laws of God. When you look up the word law in a dictionary, you'll typically find more than 20 different definitions. But they do break down into two main categories. One, made-up rules that require enforcement, e.g. tax laws, and two, principles or protocols upon which reality is constructed to operate, e.g. laws of physics. God, as creator, built space, time, matter, energy, and life. His laws are the constants, the protocols, the principles, upon which the universe and life is constructed to operate. These cannot be changed while life as we know it still exists. So Jesus said, "Remember that as long as heaven and earth last, not to the least point, nor the smallest detail of the law will be done away with, not until the end of all things." Matthew 5:18, Good News Bible. In her book, Finding Truth, Nancy Pearcey describes this reality. The origin of the universe has given rise to a puzzle known as the fine-tuning problem. The fundamental physical constants of the universe are exquisitely balanced, as though on a knife's edge, to sustain life. Things like the force of gravity, the strong nuclear force, the weak nuclear force, the electromagnetic force, the ratio of the mass of the proton and the electron, and many other factors have just the right value needed to make life possible. If any of these critical numbers were changed even slightly, the universe could not sustain any form of life. For example, if the strength of gravity were smaller or larger than its current value by only 1 part in 10 to the 60, 1 followed by 60 zeros, the universe would be uninhabitable. End of quote. Human beings did not and cannot create reality as God did. Instead, we make up rules. We must enforce those rules externally, most often through the infliction of punishment. After Constantine converted, the idea that God's law functions in the same way that human laws do was embraced. The idea that God's law is imposed, imperial, began to infect Christianity, corrupting the saving truths that Jesus brought. The message of God for today is that the hour in human history has come for people to make a right judgment of who God is. We are to, quote from Revelation 14 verse 7, worship him who made the heavens, the earth, the sea, and the springs of water. That is creator worship. What are design laws? Dr. Tim writes, I have had many requests for a list of the various design laws of God. Here you will find a compilation of many of these laws. Not a complete list, for God is infinite, and there are certain to be many more design laws that I have not yet comprehended, or perhaps humans have not even discovered. In order for a law to be a design law, it must be a principle or protocol upon which reality operates. As such, it will be testable, with reproducible, consistent, constant, and predictable results. In other words, it is non-changing. The only variables would be in the damage that results, with various degrees of violating a law. For instance, jump off a 500-foot building and you die. Step off a 5-inch curb and you twist an ankle. The law of gravity doesn't change, but the degree of the violation changes. The degree of the violation causes a different degree of injury. Note that these laws have a natural consequence. They do not require an external agent to punish someone who violates these laws. So, God's law in short summary. In the original blog, which you can find at commonreason.com/design laws of God, you'll find a larger explanation. The law of love, the law of liberty, the law of worship, the law of exertion, the laws of physics, the laws of mathematics, the laws of health, the law of restoration, the law of sowing and reaping, the law of love overcoming fear, the law of fear damaging love and inciting selfishness, the law of forgiveness versus resentment, the law of truth, the law of revelation, the law of happiness, the law of brokenness, the law of sin and death. God is our loving Creator, who built all reality to operate in harmony with His character of love. His laws are design laws, protocols upon which life and health are constructed to operate. It is God's plan to put His laws in our hearts and minds, Hebrews 8 verse 10, to restore in us His design for life, so that we live in harmony with Him in perfect love and health. I invite you to worship Him who made the heavens, the earth, sea, and the springs of water. To reject the dictator, imperial views of God, to embrace our Creator's design laws, and by beholding Him, be transformed in heart and mind to be like Him. For, First Epistle of John, chapter 3, verse 2, we know that when He appears, we shall be like Him, for we shall see Him as He is.